The FA Cup game against Leeds United was the first time we've met each other in the FA Cup since 1973. I think it was a game where both sets of supporters are looking forward to. And the surprise for Sunderland was Van Aanholt coming back from injury, slotting in at left back. He's been out for a few weeks with a shoulder problem. Alvarez coming in on the left-hand side. And you've got to say, you know, the goal by Van Aanholt was excellent, you know, especially the energy levels which he's shown, but also the strike. He's hit across the ball and he's ended up in the far corner of the left-hand goal. And it gives Sunderland the momentum. You know, there was pushing on to try to get that second goal. A lot of opportunities fell for Stephen Fletcher. He had one goal disallowed for being offside, but overall he had 3 or 4 opportunities which, when you look back on now, maybe he was trying too hard. You know, there's a striker who confidence is quite low at the present moment. You know, obviously he judged on goals. Unfortunately, he couldn't get on the score sheet. But the pleasing thing is that he's getting in them positions. If he wasn't getting in them positions, then it would have been a worry. But I think the only thing which is missing from Stephen Fletcher's game at the present moment is a goal. 4th round of the FA Cup. Fulham was our opponents. Gus Poyet's made 1 or 2 changes. Manoni in goal, giving him a run out. Quartez alongside Virginie and O'Shea, playing 3 at the back with Van Aanholt and Jones playing as the wing backs. And in the middle of the park, it was interesting. You know, Rodwell, Bridcut, Larson. People was expecting maybe the likes of Giaccherini or Alvarez to come in there, and straight away people were talking about where the creativity was going to come from, especially to supply the service to the likes of Jermaine Defoe and Stephen Fletcher. We had a few efforts outside of the box, but you've got to say the goalkeeper, Bettinelli, made some tremendous saves, especially from Jermaine Defoe, to keep a clean sheet. But Fulham will look back on it and think that maybe they could have won it right at the end. Rod Diego coming on and a great strike coming back off the post. Maybe the turning point was Jack Rodwell. You know, you look at the 2 yellow cards which he picked up in the game. The first one, you've got to say maybe another day could easily have, yellow could have turned into a red. And you've got to say the second one for the challenge on the goalkeeper to stop him from distributing the ball quickly, shall we say, was a little bit silly, and that's what we're talking about. You know, you look at some of the yellow cards which Sunderland have picked up this season. You know, it was silly, shall we say, silly yellow cards, and unfortunately the second yellow was a red for Rodwell, which put a lot more pressure on Sunderland, down to 10 men. But, you know, in the middle of the park, that's where I think you need a little bit more creativity. You know, when you're playing the likes of Rodwell, Bridcut, Larson, you know, have we got somebody who can get on the ball and, shall we say, open doors or play that threaded pass to the likes of Defoe and Stephen Fletcher? I don't think we had enough creativity on the day. The replay against Fulham is interesting to see the way Sunderland have set up. Has gone back to a straight back 4, Virginie and O'Shea. Van Aanholt and Jones, the 2 full-backs. And in the middle, they went with Gomez, Bridcut, Giaccherini. And then you've got Alvarez, who played on the right-hand side. Fletcher played on the left, but sometimes coming in. And Defoe playing as a lone striker. So it was a strong team. But also, straight away, you're thinking you've got 1 or 2 flair players in the team, which was different to when we played Fulham at the Stadium of Light. You know, you've got the likes of Gomez, who likes to get on the ball and he'll pick a pass. You've got Alvarez, who we know, you know, can he do it? You know, we're all waiting for him to see if we can turn it on for 90 minutes. And Giaccherini, we all know about Giaccherini, you know, what's his best position. But, you know, you've got players who can get on the ball and make things happen. And you've got to say that we know about Fulham, they like to get the ball down and play. And he was expecting a good footballing game, open game, which it was. And Sunderland dominated the game from kick-off. You know, won 8 corners. Fulham 1 corner. They went down there against Sunderland and won a corner. And from the first corner, It was a scrappy, sloppy goal which they conceded. Somehow it sneaked its way, it's found Rodriguez and he's poked the ball in to give Fulham the lead. But you've got to say you were still sitting comfortable. I think Gus Poyet was looking at the game and it was just a case of matter of time. You know, Bettinelli made 2 or 3 good saves to keep Fulham in the game. And it was just a case of hopefully keep creating opportunities and just hoping, fingers crossed, that one of them would go in. And you've got to say, the equaliser, you're pointing fingers at the goalkeeper. You know, it was a deflected cross from Van Aanholt, and somehow he's lost it. He must have lost it in the lights, and it's found its way across the line. It's the assistant who's given the goal, 1-1, and there was only one team who was going to go on and win the game. Ricardo Alvarez had an excellent game. You know, we all know about the talent which he's got. He's great ability, you know, but obviously the question was, can he produce it for 90 minutes? And you've got to say, on the night, he was excellent. You know, the fed in the ball, and it was just a constant threat. You know, cutting inside, his flicks, his use of the ball was good, yeah, and even his work rate. And I've got to say that he's actually developing, he's understanding what English football is about. And you've got to say, I think that he's pushing ahead of Will Buckley now. You know, he's a good size, he's got a good pace, but what he can do, you know, he's attacking minded, he gives defenders problems, and he's got goals in him. Now, you know, what we've got to do now is build on that. He's got to build on that now and keep knocking at the door. And when his opportunity does come, then he's got to grab it with both hands. It was great to see Danny Graham coming on. And again, you know, looked lively. The ball was played into his feet, good strength. And Bodorov has somehow tried to win the ball from behind. You can't do that now. Left the referee with no option but to point to the spot. And Gomez finished it off 3-1, which, when you look back, it was a comfortable one. But it was the way Sunderland went about it. You know, we passed the ball well, created chance after chance. And hopefully that'll breed a lot more confidence in the team for the game against Swansea on Saturday. For Player of the Month, there's 1 or 2 contenders. I think Adam Johnson's done very well. You look at Virginie, he's been steady away. John O'Shea, I think he's been excellent as well. But I think one person who has been knocking on the door month after month is Seb, the third Lung Larson. I think he's been excellent. I don't know where he's found that extra energy from, you know, especially when Lee Catamol's not in the team. I think he's the driving force. You know, he's the one who drives the team on, he's closing people down. But one thing which he's brought to the team as well is goals, especially from set pieces. If he scores 1 more, he'll be on level with the likes of Zola and Thierry Henry. And, you know, if he scores another 4, then he'll be on the same mark as David Beckham. And I think he will score another 4, especially when you look at the length of his contract. He'll score 4, or I think he'll go on and break the record. You know, because again, you're looking at a player who's playing with responsibility and confidence, you know, and especially when you see any set pieces around that 18-yard box, you know that Seb Larsson's going to be on him. And one thing which he's going to do is hit the target.